Well, hey, I'm with John Wechsler and Michael Slate. We are just talking about what we can do for our community, and I know that God's positioned us as a church to reach out and to get in front of the crisis and to help the people who are most vulnerable and those who are most at risk. And our healthcare workers have been huge on my mind. I heard our mayor this last week talk about uh, that we would have a great shortage of hospital masks. So I've been working on this, trying to figure this out. And yesterday I got a call from John Wechsler, and he said, "Hey, would you have any interest in getting some hospital masks for our local community?" Now, John is the entrepreneur and founder of Launch Fishers, and he mentioned that he knew somebody named Michael who was making this happen. So I just want to say thank you to you guys. And I want you to introduce yourself and tell a little bit about the story of how this happened. And I just want to say thank you to our legacy team for jumping in and making this great opportunity happen. So, John, I'll turn it to you.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. And really, it's amazing how every 24 hours we're learning kind of what the new normal is like. And, I've said today a couple times that it seems like my role right now is I go from counselor one moment to warrior the next to healer the next, and then do it all again. And that's usually before noon. And so right now we're all playing different roles. And Michael and I have known each other for quite some time. He's not only a member at Launch Fishers, but a longtime friend of mine. And we talk about a lot of stuff routinely. And he had posted an event on GoFundMe, and my wife mentioned it to me, and I went and looked at it, and so I decided to call Michael and just say, "Hey, this looks interesting. How can I help? What's going on there?" I work closely with the city of Fishers, obviously closely with Heartland and others in the community, and I thought, let me try to activate and shift this from crowdfunding a whole bunch of donations to maybe just moving the needle really in a big way. And that's when I started to make a handful of calls. First one being to you, Darren. And in typical fashion, Heartland fashion, you said, "You know what, this looks like it's right in our wheelhouse." And you explained to me that you had been searching high and low through your network for potential sources for these masks, and that in very short order led to us getting connected with Michael, and here we are funding the order that Michael quite boldly, I'll let him tell the story, placed last night without really knowing how this was all going to pan out. I really credit him for having the faith to, quite frankly, place an order that's bigger than most people would ever dream of clicking buy on. And I'll let him explain how that came about. But I'm just thankful to be part of the equation here and to do some really good work. It almost like Michael, we've talked about with you, Darren, it feels effortless when people say, "Oh, you must be working really hard to make this happen." And the reality is when this is divinely inspired and work that is for the greater good, it really is effortless. And it's made so, I think, because of Heartland, Darren, your leadership, and just everybody coming together. So I'll bump it over to Michael and let him kind of explain how this all got started. And I really want to hear, Michael, your bold move last night in how this transpired. So take it away.
Gotcha. Well, to be frank, I hadn't really thought about helping people with hospital masks. Unlike Darren, I guess I wasn't quite as forward thinking. I was probably like everyone else in this disaster, sort of going through the 5 stages of grief, and frankly in the stage of depression at the time. And I happened to be talking to my team in Asia, and she asked me, "Hey, do you need any masks?" And I kind of perked up at that and said, "Well, hey, yeah, just like send me 100 masks for my family. I mean, it'd be good to have." And then I started thinking more about it, and I said, "Well, my sister-in-law is a nurse. Let me ask her." And so I sent her a text and said, "Hey, Tracy, do you need any masks?" And she said, "Oh, yes, very much." She said, "They're thinking about buying handmade masks for $14 each. And we're limited to 1 mask per day per nurse. And we are in desperate need of masks." And so, of course, I started researching and seeing the news articles and understanding the problem. And so I reached back out to my team and I said, well, how many can you get? What's the situation? And she was on it and offered to basically do everything for free and get us in contact with the right people in China to provide what is equivalent to a N95 respirator mask here in the US. And so I said, okay, well, let's figure out how many you can get, what the price is. And this was, I think, a few days ago. And she gave me a price. And I started reaching out to people, put the GoFundMe together, figured, okay, this is going to cost me, about $40,000 or so to get 30,000 masks. And essentially, things started escalating. I told her, okay, I'm going to pay for the first 1,000 myself, coming out of pocket of that, and I'll just give those away. And she said, well, Michael, it's getting really, really crazy here. And the factory is increasing the price every single day because demand is going through the roof. And if you want these masks, you really need to place the order. And so I said, okay, well, what's the new price? And it already within 2 days had gone up 20% from the prior time period. And in the meantime, of course, I'm trying to sell it to the government of Indiana. I'm trying to sell it to the hospital networks. I'm trying to get anybody to sort of, use this, what I know is needed in the system. And no one is really responding to me. And we raised a little bit on the GoFundMe. I think at that point we were up to, say, $1,000 or something. And so, John got involved. He called me and I started talking to him, and he said, I think Heartland might be in for somewhere between, $10,000 and $25,000 on this. And so I said, okay, look, I'm just going to take sort of a leap of faith here. I said, I want to lock down the price and I want to lock down the delivery date, because otherwise we're going to get pushed to the back of the line and the price is going to keep escalating. So I told my supplier, I said, look, I'm authorizing up to $27,000. Just get as many masks as you can for $27,000. So this was at 2:00 in the morning last night. I wake up like in a sweat at 6 a.m. because I'm now realizing that I had just committed $27,000, which I can't really afford to do. And I don't have a solid donor or anything. And so I said, quickly got on my phone and checked my messages. And the first message she sent is, okay, I've reserved 35,000 masks at a price of $1.36, and shipping is about 3 cents per unit. So all in all, it was about a $48,000 order. And I said, wait a minute, I only authorized you to spend $27,000. You're telling me you've literally taken my money and paid for half of a $50,000 order. And she says, don't worry about it. She says, if you don't end up needing it, there are so many people in the world right now that need these masks, and the price is increasing so fast that we'll get them to somebody that needs it. And so that's when I reached back out to John, and it just all came together that Heartland stepped up and covered the entire first order of 35,000 masks. And I'm so thankful. My family is thankful. My wife is certainly thankful that I'm not on the hook for the entire amount. And so I appreciate you guys, and hopefully we can continue to make an impact, because the frontline healthcare workers are absolutely in dire need right now of masks. They're being limited to one a day, and it's really just
and that's not protocol at all. For people who don't understand, like, you're supposed to wear one mask, one patient, and throw it away. So just the thought of the cross-contamination that could happen, wearing one mask for the whole day, nobody wants to do that. And the need is great. I understand that, from just one of our major hospitals, they're estimating that in the weeks ahead, they might need almost like 5,000 if they were to go by normal standards in a week. So it's just the tip of the iceberg, but it's great to jump in and be a part of it. And to all of those who are part of our church, I just want to say thank you for what you do week in, week out. And I want to thank the way our team manages the resources you give, because we are so prepared in this situation to be able to respond to opportunity and to make a difference where it counts. So I'm just giving a huge shout out to people of our church and to our team. And really, Michael, thank you for having the faith to jump forward. I understand you visited our church during the At the Movies series for the first time, and that was a great experience. So I'm glad you enjoyed
Absolutely. It. Yeah, no, and you've definitely gained a new member for life. Me and my family will be there. Hold me to it.
Yeah, and John, it's great to have you a part of Heartland too. You're just so connected, and you do great things in our community. But we just, I'm so thankful that you're out there using your mind. Tell a little bit real quick. what happened with the Fisher's Test Kitchen and how you just provided meals for all of our firefighters and our police department last night.
Absolutely. And Darren, I would like to use this opportunity to thank you and everyone at Heartland, those on the legacy team, especially the people that make this kind of stuff happen. The benefit personally to Michael, myself, and others that are really programmed to try to help, especially in moments of need, is that it gives us direction. Quite frankly, it gives us a purpose and a focus that we feed off of. And it really is a purposeful part of our day now to do what we're doing here. And it's made possible because the generous donations and the contributions from members at Heartland, and then Heartland as a church stepping up to do this. So I don't want to let this call end or this video end without saying a big thank you to everyone that made this happen. As for the Fisher's Test Kitchen, we picked a heck of a time to open 3 restaurants in Fisher's and a 4th that's a culinary performance space. All of these rely on people coming together every day to share meals and get together, which we can't do anymore. Right. So what we've done is we've shifted one of the restaurants into an exclusive footprint of delivery and pickup meals. And one of the things that we do is we engage all the time with people that we know that need a meal, people that are building our community, or whether it's a fire station here or people that might be homebound. I'm running over there daily, and I'll pick up a few meals and deliver them. But as a team, we decided to put our efforts around serving every firefighter that was on shift last night at dinner time. And so that turned out to be about 40 firefighters at 6 stations. And we organized all this ahead of time with the fire department and with the chef, Carlos Salazar, at Little Dumplings. And we had orders placed for every fire station, packaged and ready to go. And then my team at Launch Fisher's platooned in every 5 minutes. A new car pulled up. I would grab a meal in a bag. I had Purell in one hand, rubber gloves in the other, and I would Purell their hands. They'd wipe off, and then I'd put the meal in their back seat and hand them the gloves. When they got to the fire station, they gloved up, grabbed the meal, delivered it, and we did a completely contactless, very safe delivery of meals. And I would tell you something happens, and I know you know this, Darren. Michael, I know you know it, but for those that haven't experienced serving those who serve others in a moment of need, there's something very fulfilling and rewarding about that. We know this is divinely inspired and the work of much greater God than anything we could ever dream of doing. But it's amazing when you serve others in a moment of need. But a higher order of calling, I think, is when you serve those who are serving. It's a very fulfilling outcome. And I just tell you, I draw inspiration and energy every day from what's going on. And I know the narrative is going to change soon to rebuilding and resiliency and focus on the future. But right now, we just need to respond. And I really want to thank everyone that's responding to the call. And the day will come where we're all building and looking ahead. But that's what we're focused on right now, and just happy to be part of the team.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, one of the things you did say to me just before was that how this, you were in those stages of grief and depression, and what has this done for you just to be a part of your, generosity and giving and making this happen for our community?
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's the first thing I noticed was that as soon as I felt like, as soon as I made that commitment that for that first 1,000, mask, I just sort of had that depression absolutely lift. And I was in a whole new headspace and a whole new sort of focus for, getting back to work, if you will. I know it's really hard to work during this time because you just kind of get into this fog of war almost. And it sort of lifted me out of that and sort of gave me purpose again. And absolutely thankful that I did this. And I would encourage everyone else to give as well. It will help you. Not just the people in healthcare.
Well, and there's ripple effects to all of this. So, John, it's not just the firefighters that got those meals, but it's like a restaurant that would otherwise be in dire straits just got there's ancillary benefits that they got an order. And then I heard that there was another after this story got out, like somebody else came and placed an order to do the same thing, like 1,500 meals or something. So
yeah, that evening, I hadn't been home maybe an hour when Carlos texted me and said that somebody else had reached out to him and placed an order for Friday for it was $1,500 worth of food from him that they planned to do something with as well. So they saw the Facebook post where we talked about our team going in and getting these meals and coordinating, and somebody reached out to him within the hour of posting that and ordered the same thing for a Friday delivery. And again, you're talking about, meaningful impact of an entrepreneurial warrior who is trying to live to fight another day, right? I mean, Carlos is in there every day doing the prep, doing the work, making the meals. And to me, if we don't celebrate those people in our community, I'm not sure who we celebrate, because these are the ones that are going to make it possible that we all get to go back to our regular daily lives and the new normal that exists. But I'm so thankful to be part of a community where, these are the types of people that answer the call when tough times come upon us. So.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. And I just want you all to know that are watching this, that we are in touch with all of our partners. We're finding out where the needs are. We had a week of just adjusting to the new normal, but we're done with that. We're good. The church is positioned to come to you online. The church is fine. What we're going to do is motivate all of our energy on looking outward. We're going to be the church. We're going to go out and find places of need, find what we can do, and we'll let you know in the days ahead the opportunities. We're going to have mass to distribute. We're going to have opportunities to serve. There'll be opportunities to give. We'll keep you informed. But great things are happening right now. This is not just a season of darkness. This is actually the greatest day of opportunity for us as the people of God. So I want to encourage you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for taking a minute just to tell us.
Hey, Darren.
Really appreciate
Darren, could I say one other thing? Only because rarely does someone get to take the mic from the pastor at church. And I just want to applaud you for what you're doing. The work that you're doing and the way you do it is so meaningful. I don't know that everyone really knows the backstory here and kind of the work that goes on behind the scenes. I know they know that you do a lot of that, but I just want to say that real leadership emerges in tough times, and the way you're working with the mayor and with the city officials and engaging in the ways that they need support right now, that means a ton. I know it means a lot to him. It means a lot to our city and to me personally. It really shows incredible leadership, not only in the spiritual way that you lead Heartland, but in the way you're part of this community. It really makes us all better, and I just want to thank you for that. So I'm sorry to interrupt at the end, but
I
don't think I'm going to walk up on stage and do it at Heartland. I'd love to, but I feel like I can say it here, and I hope this gets seen by many, because it's really, really important work. Thank you for what you do.
This is what it means. The church should not be just sitting. We're not a church that sits inside of a wall and has services. We are part of this community. We're actually part of the city of Indianapolis, and we're not just looking at our own city. We're looking at needs in the greater Indianapolis area. We're looking into the poor parts of our state. God has positioned us with such a place of resource. I think that leadership is demanded of us. So I love doing it. Love being with you guys. It's been great talking, and we're going to keep you guys updated of great opportunities in the days ahead. So thanks for being with us, guys. Appreciate it.
Stay strong, everyone.
Thanks, Darren.
All right.